podcast. Flyweight Alex Perez. How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, doing really good, brother. Doing good. Busy. Man, congratulations. UFC Raleigh. First round submission. You got to love that. How you feeling since UFC Raleigh?
Good, man. I celebrate that night, and then after that, it's kind of back to work,
Right.
Can't really keep celebrating a win, and then the next fight come up and be like, oh, so I kind of just take the night to celebrate with my team and everybody, and back to work.
Back to work. Would you like to remain active? Would you like to get back in there as quickly as possible?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit harder for flyweights just because of the weight. But my first year I fought 3 or 4 times. Last year, I fought once, got injured, and it was kind of like So now that I'm healthy, yeah, man, let's get another 2-3 fights in this year.
Absolutely, man. And so I looked up, a nickname for you, the Flyweight Finisher, including that Dana White Contender Series, 3 first-round finishes, 5-1 in the UFC. Is that important to you to finish fights?
Honestly, it's important to me to win. It doesn't matter if finish or decision. It doesn't matter to me. I get 2 checks. At the end of the day, that's all that matters for me.
Right, absolutely, my man. Okay, so you mentioned it. It's definitely probably the elephant in the room. The whole flyweight landscape in general, especially for the UFC. How do you feel with it? How have you talked to people inside the industry and the company about where flyweights are going in 2020?
No, I feel pretty comfortable. They're should be crowning a new champion soon.
Right.
Yeah, I feel great. I mean, if they cut the division, hopefully they give me the opportunity to come up to 35s. If they don't, then great, I'll stay at 25s. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about the division right now. I feel like it's in a good place.
Right. I had like the next 3, 4, and you nailed them all. For one, you would be okay going up to 135. That's okay for you?
Yeah, I mean, I fought 35s in my career before.
Right.
I'm not a small flyweight either, so transitioning to 35 isn't that bad.
Okay. And then you did mention that title match. Joseph, one of the mainstays in the flyweight division for the last 5-7 years versus Figueroa. That's UFC Norfolk at the end of the month. How excited are you to watch that fight or, kind of see who is victorious?
I really don't care.
No?
Not really. It doesn't bother me. I feel like I match up good with anybody in the division, those 2 guys as well, even though Joe got the win. Everybody knows that. Like, it wasn't like he TKO'd me, but it wasn't from him punching me. It was from his headbutt. So, and he even told me in the back. And then for him, like, I just found out, like, him talking shit, like, oh, a good sparring match, man. Like, I can suck a dick.
Really?
Yeah. He told me in the back. He was cool in the back with me.
Right.
Like, he was cool. Like, oh yeah, it was we collided heads and stuff like that. And then from what I heard, he was talking shit. So, cool, man. Like, I just tell people, like, don't be fake around me. I don't like fake people.
Right.
Like, you gotta talk shit to my face. If you're gonna say behind my back next time I see you, I'm gonna tell you something. I am gonna slap you in the face.
Right. And okay, so that just right there, when you kind of, to me, right, I would want that fight back. I would want that back. Or you just don't.
I mean, obviously, I want the rematch back, but I gotta do my job and just win fights. He did get the win. Me, it wasn't like UFC like, oh, we're gonna book it right away. Like, all right, cool. The UFC didn't book it right away. I gotta keep doing my job, and eventually we'll get the rematch. I'm not gonna call him out after every fight.
Right. And what do you? How far do you think? Oh, I don't think you're that far off. Maybe 1 fight, maybe at the 2 at max. Right, you're right there.
It just depends, man. It all depends who you fight, how far it go. Injuries, no injuries. So 2 or 3 fights, maybe I'm in there. Who knows? But can't look that far in the future. I just gotta worry about the one.
Talking about the future, I kind of looked over their past 23 professional wins. If you could fight yourself, it's at the beginning of 2020, at the 2017 or 2018. How far are you from where you were 2-3 years ago in the game?
Oh, a lot, man. Like, a lot of people don't know, but I used to train in a garage, with my team, Team Ochoa, and I got the best out of them. I was like 7-2, 8-2 as a pro, and then I ended up moving to Team Oyama, and probably one of the best decisions I ever made. You know, got the blessing from my coach back home. You know, the Alex now would kill the Alex from the past. You know, easily first round, second round.
Right. Also, too, I checked back. You had 2 losses in a row. Not on a main organization, and a lot of people, they take it. It's like, wow, it's devastating if they lose 1 or 2 on the regional scene or right there, right underneath it. There's so many great shows now on UFC Fight Pass. But to me, you went on a tear. I think it was 6 or 7 in a row. Then you got in the Contender Series, and now you've been a monster ever since. Going back, what would you tell, professional fighters that, took 1 or took 2, on the regional scene in their younger days?
Honestly, I feel like if people are undefeated and going into UFC at 7-0, no, like it's gonna sound like maybe I'm kind of hating because it took me a long time, but I feel like you didn't get enough experience.
Right.
Right. I've seen people be undefeated and then go to the UFC and then, lose 1 in a row and then they lose the second one. They lose 1 and then lose the second one in a row, and it's kind of like, man, I'd rather fight an undefeated fighter than a guy with more experience. Just because an undefeated fighter, he knocks everybody out in the first round. Well, hey, what has he got in the second and third round?
Right.
Whether a guy that's a journeyman or a guy that has a lot of fights, man, it's like those guys are tougher. They've been 15 minutes. They've been 25 minutes. So I would just say, keep your head up, man. Like, everybody's going to lose in the sport. No one's undefeated. There's only one guy undefeated right now, and that's Khabib. But, there's a 99.9% chance you're not going to be undefeated, and that's okay. You just got to learn to rebuild. And I feel you got to learn not to blame your team. You got to, look in and did you really do everything you can do? Sometimes it might be the team. Who knows? Maybe you run the team. Maybe you haven't. But most of the time, it's maybe you didn't get ready, or sometimes the guy was just better than you, and that's bound to happen. That shit happens all the time.
Right. It's the fight game, my man. You mentioned the greatest lightweight fighter of all time, Khabib Nurmagomedov, undefeated. He fights Tony Ferguson 2 months. For one, are they finally going to fight? Are the MMA gods going to put them together in a cage? Is that finally going to happen? And 2, your professional opinion, who do you think wins that fight?
Man, hopefully they fight. You never know. You never know. Still 2 months, man. So, yeah. And I got Khabib winning just because I got to go by the numbers, but Tony's no slouch, man.
Right.
He can take a punch, and he gets better when the rounds go on. He's very stiff off his back, So, I don't think Khabib's ever dealt with someone like Tony. And Tony's never dealt with anybody as strong as Khabib either, man. From where I heard, the guy's strength is legendary.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I'm with you. Every time someone, even, they go, oh, the undefeated fighter, I'm like, I always go with that guy. Until they lose, until, Amanda loses, I got Amanda for the next 5 or 6 or all that nature. But if someone's going to do it, you think of Tony Ferguson, all of his assets and his skill and just everything. It's like, I don't see him just being grappled for 5 rounds. I just don't see that.
I see Tony and Gaethje being a problem.
Okay.
Gaethje's a Division I wrestler.
Right.
He doesn't cut much weight, and he's gonna come forward. He's gonna punch. He's gonna leg kick you. So those are the guys I see giving him problems. Other than that, it's kind of hard to say.
Right. Wow. I cannot wait to that. My man Alex Perez, appreciate you coming on the show. We have 10 funny questions. We call it Going Bananas. They can be one answered or essay, anything you want. All right, my man. All right. Who's your favorite movie character ever?
Man, favorite movie character. Jeez, I would have to say the guys off the Step Brothers, man. Those guys, both those guys together is probably my all-time favorite movie.
Dude, did we just become best friends?
Yep.
I love that. What's your biggest pet peeve?
I got a lot of them. I would say not being lazy. I hate lazy people.
Right. This is one of my favorite ones, especially asking the fighters. Who's your least favorite sparring partner? There's always someone, that goes past that limit. Always someone a little stinky. There's always someone.
I don't know, man. I feel like our team's not like we when we spar, we don't try to kill each other.
Okay.
Put work in, and most of the guys. There are some guys, but I don't train with some of them that don't have the best hygiene. But it's not my problem. I don't work with them.
There you go.
can't really pick one.
Okay. Your vacation spot, you like it tropical or cold weather?
Oh, I gotta go tropical, man. I hate the cold.
Right. Where will you be in 2025?
Man, hopefully I'll be, owning a home, be hanging out on my patio, drinking a beer.
That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. I'm going to get that tonight. I'm doing that tonight. What's your guilty pleasure song?
Ooh. I really don't have one.
No?
Yeah, I really don't have one.
Okay. Outside of mixed martial arts, what's your favorite activity?
I like coaching. I like coaching wrestling, like high school.
Really?
Wrestling. Yeah, I used to coach high school wrestling all the time before I moved down south. So coaching high school wrestling, even though it's a headache sometimes and it's a heart attack.
Right.
But it's always I like coaching. It's probably one of my favorite things to do.
I hear that all the time too, and I hear when DC fights, he's not nervous when he goes in the cage. He's nervous when his high schooler wrestles. It's the most nerve-wracking in the world.
Yep, that's how I feel.
Really? Okay. Two more for you, my man. What's your favorite carnival food?
Funnel cake, man.
There you go. I'm with you there.
Cake.
Your all-time favorite combat sports athlete?
I would have to say Anderson Silva, man. He did things back in the day that, man, no one can do. And Chuck Norris.
Last one, my man. I appreciate you. What do you want your mixed martial arts legacy to be?
I want to be known as the guy that steps up to every fight they've offered him, man. That I'm down to fight whoever. 25s, 35s, 45s, doesn't matter. I'm always down for a scrap. I'm always down to fight. And I just want to be known as a hard worker.
Absolutely, my man. I appreciate you. Alex Perez coming on, victorious at UFC Raleigh. Hopefully we'll see you back in the octagon really soon, my brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Later, brother. Have a good one.
You too, man. Later.